Hello, this is your life, babe. The internet is dying now. Okay, this is off the record. Hello and welcome back to another episode at Hailey Off the Record. Today, we are going to talk about, if you haven't heard, going analog, going offline is cool now. All the pretty girls do it, all the cool people do it. I came across this carousel on Pinterest that 2026 is the year we're going analog, and it couldn't have happened at a better time. And if you are wondering where I am, I'm actually at a cafe with my makeshift mic here. Got a matcha latte because the house is not suitable for filming at the moment. So here we are. This may be a super short episode, but I just really need to get this out because it resonates with me so much. The fact that the internet is dying and everyone is going offline now. It's scary, yeah, but it's so peaceful at the same time. I don't even know if it's the right word. So what does going analog mean? Basically, it means going offline, reverting to the old way where, we actually meet real people, hang out with our friends, do actual things, have actual hobbies. Back in the day where people don't have like technologies and phones and iPads and TV, you actually say hello to your neighbor, bring over blueberry pies or something. Or when I was growing up, I would hang out with the neighbor kids all the time. We didn't get the luxury of watching TV or anything, so after school I would be hanging out with the kids, and like pretty much everyone in the same neighborhood know everyone, and it's such a much more intimate kind of feeling. And you know what's crazy? These days it doesn't really happen anymore. I was living in my house in New Zealand for 7 years, and I think I pretty much said hello to the neighbors like 3 times in the whole 7 years. I don't know. I know I'm a really introvert person, so I really just go to work, go get my things done and get back. Once I get in the house, I don't really communicate with anyone. Also, if you're wondering why I'm like bending over like this, because this table is super low and I didn't bring my actual tripod today, so I'm just using the Osmo tripod. But we gotta make do. Going back to the topic, living analog, going offline, I can definitely notice the shift. I don't know if you feel the same, but lately the social media just does not feel the same. And this is coming from somebody who create content and whose business is solely based online. It's kind of scary for me to think at first, because I was like, so what does that mean? What does that mean for me now? But the more I sit with it, it's not as scary that it may seem. Like if the internet was to die off tomorrow, so what? We'll all just have to live our life, and it's better to start getting used to it now than later. And lately, the algorithm has completely changed. Before, going on social media used to feel so much different. I recently listened to this podcast from Leo Skippy about how social media feel like the late stage of addiction, and it makes so much sense. Before, scrolling on social media, scrolling on Facebook, scrolling on Instagram, even TikTok in a sense, and there was like fun content. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of fun contents out there, but these days scrolling, especially on Instagram or TikTok, it hit different. It gives such a different feeling. Everywhere you look, left, right, center, you see content that make you feel worse about yourself, content that somehow put this invisible pressure on you to perform, to create more, create better, contents that make you subconsciously compare yourself, your life to them, even compare your work, your content to them. That, oh, my carousel could never look like that, my editing for my reel could never look like that. And speaking from my experience, because a lot of time when I start scrolling, even for content research, my hand will start scrolling and my mind will go into that doom scrolling mode before I actually click it and realize, oh my god, I'm doom scrolling again. Even though I know like I'm doing content research, I should use the comparison to learn, apply to my content and my business, I kind of spiral. I don't know if you ever feel the same way, but I kind of start thinking like my content could never look like that no matter how much I learn, and it just fuel my self-doubt. And it's kind of like get to a point where I feel like I shouldn't be putting my content out there because it could never measure up. But like measure up to what? And to who? At the end of the day, I know that I'm in my own lane. I'm not in a competition with anybody. So it's like little things like that that just really reinforce the idea of going offline, going analog. At this point, if it weren't for my business, honestly, I would delete everything. I am ready to quit social media. You know what that caused? Now being on social medias give you this kind of burnout. The pressure of needing to show up and post and be present 24/7 online feels so draining. It's so saturated. It's crazy. Scrolling used to feel distracting, like a fun thing. And now it felt like you're being attacked. It felt like a reminder that you're not doing enough. You should be doing more. You should be selling more. Look at all these people who's making millions million. Look at all these people who's selling course left, right and center. Like you need this, otherwise you would never be able to break your income cap. Otherwise you would never be able to retire from your 9 to 5. Otherwise you would never be able to live your dream life. And that's exhausting. Seeing that on a daily basis, seeing that reminder every day that you need to do more, you need to put in more, to the point that you feel like everything you do is never enough, no matter what you do. And how do I know? Because I have been there. That's why when I took that 2-week break from social media, not gonna lie, I feel so much better. I feel so much more at ease, even though I know I did binge 6 seasons of Cobra Kai in 3 days. Apart from the time where I was gluing to the TV and actually be present in my life, spending time with my loved one and actually go outside, do things, completely take my mind off the pressure of performing. Content should I post today? How do I do my reel covers so it match up the aesthetics that everyone else is doing? Because my ones kind of look messy and all over the place. I didn't have to think about all of that. I didn't feel that invisible weight on my shoulders that I need to do more. There's always more things to do. There's more things to improve. And yeah, there's always space to learn more. There is always time to learn more. But at the rate of the social media and how it's affecting our life currently, it's just toxic. At this point, it felt like a mental attack. Every time you log on and seeing all these content that just reminding you that you're shit. Honestly, not doing you any good, doing me any good. And that's become really scary for me to think, because I felt like I hit that point of burnout from social media. I felt completely disconnected. I had to force content to come out, and it showed energy is your power, and it's really showing everything, the way you live, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you create. When you are creating from pressure, from headspace of scarcity, and creating from desperation, it's really show, and people could feel that. And I was wondering why the business was slow. I did not feel the same kind of inspiration I had at the start with my content creating, with my online business, and I started spiraling into thinking that, oh my god, I have lost the spark. Is this a big ass mistake? Do I really reach this point now that I always know this, that I am a Airy Venus? I develop interest fast, so I move fast, I act quick. And listen, I kind of built my business before I built my self-trust. Then my content creation was like completely an accident that we can get more into in another episode. I realized I stopped showing up as who I were when I first started. When I first started, for my content creation, I document my life. Just like my lesson, what I learned from my life experience and all the struggle I went through. And obviously now I'm at a point where I don't really have that much struggles about all my mental issues that I'm using this platform for. It doesn't feel the same. It feels like I'm trying to squeeze topic out. And I know that if you want to do social media and content creating full time, you need to treat it more like business rather than a digital journal. But that's just not the way I want to. I don't even know if I want to be a full-time content creator, or I just kind of lean into it because my post went viral. And being the eldest daughter, being the high achieving person I am, I immediately thought about how do I maximize this? How do I not miss this train? And that 2-week reset really slowed down my living, slowed down everything, and just be present in my life, make me reevaluate and reconsider everything, including my presence online. And the same goes with my business. I stopped showing up as the person who was inviting people into my vision, showing people this is what I create from my struggle, because I know it helped me to solve a real issue. I know if I need it, other people who are same as me would need it too. I stopped showing up. I stopped speaking like that. I had so much pressure of performing because of all these contents I see that I need to be selling more. I need to go more into, you know, the transformation, the benefit. And I completely became disconnected from the soul, which was why people tune in the first place. So these days, that's what I've been doing, slowing down and finding my spark back, in a sense, just reconnecting with the soul, reconnecting with my purpose again. I don't know if that makes sense. So here's some of the things you can do if you want to live a more present and analog life in 2026. Number 1, no phone Sunday. I did this and I'm actually mad at myself. I don't carrying on doing this as consistent as I want. I barely have screen time these days. My screen time used to be 6 hours a day, and that's just a little bit embarrassing to say. Say it's like 2 hours, and most of it's come from just responding to email, checking email, going on my Google Drive, posting, and then log off, then come back on, do some engagement. I don't scroll anymore. On the weekend, I try not to touch my phone. If I get a message from my best friend or from my family, then I will respond. But anything work-wise, unless the previews look like it's something very urgent that need my action immediately, then that can wait until Monday. That's where I draw my boundary. I'm in the season of realizing that we need to start living life like it's never gonna happen again, because the truth is, it's never gonna happen again. The only people who's going to remember that you work overtime is going to be your kid or your loved ones. And you don't want to look back in your 30 and think that, oh my god, I missed out on all these time that I could be present because I was so busy on responding to that one Instagram DM phone inquiry. That could have waited until Monday. Honestly, if they're interested, they most likely would still be interested by Monday. And if they don't, then maybe it's just not for them. The product is not for them, and you know, that's not your people. Faster you can say no to people who are not interested in your thing, your product, service, your work, the sooner you reach the people that's going to need it. Number 2, prioritize real connection over online connection. I know it's so much easier to just, you know, pop in a DM or a message, and I'm guilty of this because often the time, being such an introvert, it's so much easier for me to just talk to somebody online. Like sometimes if you see like a really pretty girl or a girl with like a super nice body, girl's body, I'll pop in like, oh, wow, you look great, or whatever. It's so much easier than giving somebody a real compliment in real life. But these online connections, even if it's like the girl that you always respond to her story, or the girl who always commented an emoji on your content, it does not come anywhere near real life connection. How many connection online would be willing to drop everything to come listen, just listen to your problem, or in the case of my best friend, listen to your same problem for like the last 10 years. At the end of the day, quality over quantity. Number 3, get a real hobby and don't try to monetize it. I know I talked about this before in a complete whole ass episode, but babe, we really don't need to monetize every single hobby we have, especially in our 20s. This is the time where we try out things, figure things out to see what we like, what we don't like. And having an extra hobby can actually help you feel more connected with yourself, less lonely, first of all. Second of all, you're learning things. It's valuable, beneficial to you. Third of all, it's make you feel values in your life. It's give you things to look forward to. And at the end of the day, you deserve to have a hobby, to have something that you can do daily, maybe weekly, that you can look forward to, that you don't have to think about monetizing, that you don't have to think about refining and having all that pressure. It's enough just to have something that you enjoy. Because the moment you start monetizing it, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't monetize every single hobby, there may be a time where you decide that, yeah, okay, this is the right time that I'm gonna monetize it. But if for the moment, it is okay to have something to do for fun without turning it into a side hustle, just because every single people on the internet, it's giving you this invisible pressure that everybody need to monetize their hobby. Everybody need to have a side hustle. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to achieve your dream life. You are going to achieve your dream life in your own time, at your own term. I promise you, it's going to happen. You do not need to put this pressure on yourself. And these hobbies could be painting, writing, running, reverting back to the old way. Old school, it's the new cool now. And number 4, do at least one thing to reconnect with yourself a day. Yeah. Every day, because hello, this is your life, babe, and life is only as beautiful as how much you're willing to see. And the problem with constantly being on the internet, seeing everybody else, especially how social media being such a highlight reel, people is only going to show you the good parts of it. This is a hot take, but even the de-influence you share also types of content, even that was still put through so much filter. And I'm not gonna lie, you know why? Because I do this too, and you can see it too. People will snapshot of their messy house, but you can see it's a Pinterest messy house, not a messy real life house. And don't tell me I'm wrong, because I know I'm right. And you know what that filter creates? That filter creates more invisible, inevitable comparison in your subconscious mind. So you ended up seeing all these content and then comparing yourself, your life to everybody else and their mom, feeling like nothing in your life is enough. Even their unaesthetics, messy, so-called house, imperfect routine still look so much aesthetically pleasing than your real life that you're living. And what does that do? Feel more into your self-doubt. It feel more into feeling like you're not enough. And you know what that does? It does nothing for you. And the only way to counterattack with this is do one thing for yourself every day, whether it is meditating or writing journal. Just do something for yourself, because this is your life. You need to start showing up like you're the main character in order to feel how great your life is. Stop focusing on everyone else's life, because they're not focusing on yours. And last but not least, number 5, have honest conversation with yourself. Ask yourself serious questions that dig deep into your fear. Get to know yourself on a more deeper level. Like, do you really need to show up every day? Are you at a place where you can give up social media if it does you more good than bad? Because that is one of the conversations that I'm going to have with myself. I am at a stage where now I'm only posting and then log off. I do not scroll anymore. So I'm like at that stage of withdrawal from social media. Because if it was up to me, it wasn't for my business, I would be quitting social media in a tech. Because I know now, living here, living in Vietnam, and actually have real hobbies that I don't monetize like this, talking to you guys, I realized that social media is really not all that. And it made me question about my person on social media. Do I still want to become a full-time content creator? Do I still want to continue with Instagram and TikTok when it's just not the same anymore? And I don't want to become that batch of, content creator who are content to make people feel worse about themselves. That just sounds like adding to the problem that I'm already struggling with. So anyway, that is where I'm gonna leave you. If you haven't heard, offline is the new cool now. That is all just off the record, by the way. And I will see you guys next time.